if living your truth, living your life with ease and flow, trusting your intuition, living from an empowered place is something that you're interested in, and I would venture yes, then stick around because you're going to enjoy this interview. I love it. And this is an interview that we're doing for a series called the Empower You Energy Healing and Manifesting series. And it's our intention with these interviews that we can give you nuggets, pearls, little bits of wisdom from the Empower You members who are just from all kinds of work. They are empowering people. They want to help their peers, their family, their friends, their clients live from that place of making choices and living your truth. And this is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So hi, let's get started. I'm Isabel Martins from healthandnaturallife.com, and my guest today is Trish Coole from trishcoole.com. Hi, and thank you, Trish, for agreeing to do this interview and sharing your expertise, your life with the Empower You tribe. And I'm just going to give it away to you, if you will, please. Just introduce yourself, what you do, and how you came about doing it.
Okay, so I am an intuitive healer. I'm an empowerment life coach, a Reiki Master, a teacher of many modalities, and also self-empowerment workshops. And I came into this in 2000. I was in the corporate world and I just knew I needed to do something else. I didn't know about this world at all. And I thought I got to do something. Maybe I'll do some courses at night. And I opened up the Yellow Pages, and you can tell how long ago it was because we don't have the paper Yellow Pages anymore. And I saw an ad for reflexology and I had no idea what it was. And I rang this lady and we spoke for about an hour, but we didn't talk about reflexology, but I really liked her and I signed up on the spot. And then I went, the following week. And so I was studying at nighttime while working in the corporate world during the day. And then I realized it was, massaging people's feet, but that just led me into, a few other things I had to do. And then anatomy and physiology course as part of that. And then someone started talking about Reiki. And I went, oh, I would like to do that. No idea again. And she said, oh, well, my friend's having a course next week. I'm sure she's got some openings. So I followed and did that. So I did a couple of courses like that while still working full time. And then I got made redundant. So I got laid off in my job, and that was in the February of 2001. But I didn't feel I was ready to start my business. And so I got another job and continued doing learned my kinesiology and crystals and a few other bits and pieces. And then I got made redundant with that job in October on my birthday. And I went, okay, it's time for me to start my business. Time. And it was pretty scary because I was pretty high up in the corporate world. I was, an 80s woman with shoulder pads and, usually one of the only women. And so I was making a lot of money and then going down to making, like $50 a week. But I never questioned it. That I just knew that that's what I was needing to be doing. And so 16 years later, this is what I've been doing. And then along the way, learning all sorts of different new techniques and ways of helping people, becoming a coach, and just following myself. Anytime that something comes in my mind, I'll just go and follow it. And that takes me on another path. And, so that's where I am today.
And that's lovely. You have 16 years of expertise and different things that you've learned, that you have tried probably with clients. What are your favorite things about what you do?
My favorite things are helping people have their aha moments, helping them get out of that story, helping them release their blocks, release old patternings, helping them see things from a different perspective, helping them to see how they keep creating and co-creating these stories over and over again, and helping them to change their energy so that they change the other people's energy. And just helping them to then, find purpose in their life and get rid of anxiety and basically help them to live a full life.
Do you have any preferred methods that you use or not?
You know, I actually tune in. I'm an intuitive healer, so I tune in. So whether I'm doing it, you know, hands-on with someone here or whether I'm doing it over Skype, I'll ask questions and then I'll get some guidance. And so if I've got someone here, I might do some hands-on healing. I might use some sound, tuning forks, you know, all those types of things. If I'm doing it via Skype, I might do some tapping or some visualization or just ask them questions. I am, as I said, I'm intuitive and I just follow the path that I'm told, and then that just seems to open up, you know, an awareness or a time when maybe this pattern was created. So it helps people to really connect to why they are here now and, you know, where that was created when they were younger and then release that. So yeah, could be EFT, could be visualization, could be hands-on healing, sound. It might be using gem elixirs. It might be using even sending energy through via Skype. There are many different ways of doing it. NLP, you know, all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, you have a big toolbox, and depending
I have a big toolbox.
Yeah, big. 17 years of toolbox, it's a big toolbox.
It's a big toolbox.
And whatever resonates, you get out of the way and just let it flow.
That's right. That's right. I'm guided by the people's subconscious. You know, I tune into that and it tells me where I need to go, what I need to talk about, and you know, what process I can give the people to move forward. You know, it's about providing a safe space for someone to make change.
Yeah, I love that. Understand that completely. Okay, so now something else more, well, not necessarily more personal, but it might be. I was going to ask if you have any kind of pattern that you had to deal with in your life that seems to keep coming over and over and over again, a recurring pattern that you had to throw lots of different things at it. And I was going to ask you also, if you do, what has worked for you the best?
Okay. So I have to say probably the pattern would be about being good enough. And I know a lot of people say, oh, but you've got all this experience and everything. I say, well, in that part of my life, I'm okay. But in my life, in my personal life, sometimes I get myself caught in not living my truth, being caught up in something, or not allowing myself to receive fully. I'm a lot better at it than I used to be, but it's about self-worth, really, self-worth and valuing who I am in all areas of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So, and the methods, I get healing done pretty regularly, and myself, I'll use tapping quite a lot. I use tapping. I use essences, so flower essences, gem essences, shell essences. I use aromatherapy a lot, and I use crystals. I make crystal grids all the time. I've got one going on the moment for my all over health. So yeah, So for me, it's recognizing, it's really living my true essence. And every once in a while, I'm usually going along pretty good, but every once in a while I get veered off into not really being me, you know, not living that inner knowing that I am, disconnecting from myself.
I was just going to put it into specific examples, for instance, for everyone watching. If you feel that you have to do something that you really don't want to do, but in order to please someone else, that's not living your truth. If you feel that you want to do something in your life, but you can't because of whatever thoughts, beliefs, any kind of excuses, because they're all excuses, we can all change them, come to your life, you're not living your truth. So it's not a spiritual big kind of theme. It's really the little things. Every time that you say no to yourself in order to say yes to someone else,
Yeah. It's about saying yes to me, so it's that, okay, I'd like to have more movement in my life. So do more exercise, not that I like that word, but, or taking care of self-care, self-care. It's like, okay, so why am I not doing that? Why don't I feel I'm worth it? What is stopping me from doing that? That might be, that's something that came up for me a couple of months ago. It's like, I have all of these things in my diary for me to do, and I haven't done any of them. Why am I not doing them? Why don't I not feel that I'm worth it? Or why do I procrastinate? Or why do I not allow myself to? So then I look at that, and I don't want to look at it too deeply, because then sometimes you just get stuck in the story. But I'll do a few little things, like I might make myself up some essences, or, as I said, do a bit of tapping, or a crystal grid or something like that.
Okay, so you question it, see what comes up, but you don't go into the story of it too much. You focus on the feelings themselves and try to release.
Yeah. I feel it. I validate it. I might see maybe where it's come from, so that maybe I can disconnect the cord from that attachment. I know that I've had lots of stuff around my mum. We have a great relationship now, but didn't when I was growing up. But I understand her now. But every once in a while, there'll be something that'll trigger. And it's like, okay, well, that's come from that. Okay, cut the cord, gone, and then feel it, and then process it, Because we need to feel it. A lot of people say, don't feel, you've got to feel good as soon as you get a bad feeling, turn it into a good feeling. Well, no, you've got to validate. You've got to say to the emotion, okay, I'm feeling this. Okay, right. Let's change it. Why am I maybe feeling that? What's just happened that I've allowed myself to choose this emotion, because we choose the emotions. And then sit with it, and then change it and move through it and learn from it. And that's what it's all about, learning from everything that's come through.
Okay, I love that. And usually, again, for everyone, if you stop when you feel something and you just out of the blue, it seems, you're constricted, or you're angry, or whatever happens, you're worried. Yeah. Emotions are caused by thoughts. You had a thought, whether you were aware of it or not, that just triggered that. If you just focus, really stop everything else, or even if you're driving, just think, okay, so what was I thinking before this came up? You'll have the thoughts. And after that, you can not follow it, choose not to follow too much, but at least you have an understanding of what was happening, the pattern that's there, and work with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking the same language. Love it.
We're talking the same language.
I was going to ask you also, for the Empower You tribe, the peeps, they are practical people. They love to create their lives by design. They love to know how to get their power back in order to live their lives deliberately. Do you have any exercise, technique, tip, different point of view that they can incorporate into their lives to lead them in that empowerment direction?
Right. I think that the thing that most people aren't is grounded. We're so much in that mental space, and we're so looking at where do I need to go, what do I need to do, that we're actually disconnected and we're not grounded at all. So I know so many of my teachers, and in fact, one of my teachers, Rosalind Bruyere, who is an amazing healer, actually just did a video on grounding. So it's really important that, because if we're not grounded, you can do all the work in the world, but you're not going to get a huge shift. You might get some, but you need to be really connected and grounded, so that then that brings you in and, allows you to open up to the process and to be more connected to yourself. Mm-hmm. So what I do each morning when I get out of bed is I actually just put my feet on the ground and I sit there. Sometimes it might be 5 seconds. Sometimes it might be a minute.
Or with socks, or with barefoot?
Yeah, Well, you can with socks as well, but I don't like sleeping with socks. So, even though it is winter here. Yeah, so I'm usually barefoot, and I'll put my feet on, on the ground, and I'll be sitting on the bed, but I'll just ground myself for the day. I'll say, okay, and I'll look at my feet, I'll move them, and I'll imagine that connection straight down into the core of Mother Earth, being connected to her, and feel that energy coming up through my whole body. Because, she supports us with every step we take, every moment of the day. So I feel that, and then I breathe, some deep breaths. And I always recommend, even especially for people who get anxious, get grounded. So throughout the day, if you're feeling that disconnect, or you're feeling, that you're so much in your mind, and your mind chatter, and there's so much going on, you're feeling overwhelmed, ground yourself. So you don't, look down at your feet, move them, swirl them on the, kind of move them like this on the ground, look at them, move them around, and take a deep breath, and then be aware of your surroundings, because that's bringing you into present time, it's grounding you, and then you have a more solid foundation to be able to move throughout the day and to process anything that you need to process. So I know it's very simple, but that to me just helps me in so many different aspects. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, if I'm feeling anxious, if I'm feeling sad, or if I just need to stop, because I'm a bit disconnected.
Yeah, and the most powerful things are usually the simplest ones. And
Exactly.
our problems, pretty much all of our problems, come from just living from here on up. Yeah. When we connect to our body is the one that has our innate intuition, our innate knowingness. So when we connect, it kind of starts to dissolve all the mental chatter and problems and everything on the outside. Not magically, but that's how it works, starts to resolve itself.
Yeah. We get more focus. We, all that stuff that's going on out here just comes in, and we can have that focus. It's like we're going, standing, bringing all of that energy in, and becoming one again.
Yeah, I know I can use that very up here much of the time. So I have to remind myself, no, focus on the body, feel the body, because that's a very big cause for anxiety, for overwhelm, like you said, for everything. It's just being in your mind.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So that simple thing of rubbing your feet on the ground, looking at them, moving them, and taking a couple of deep breaths will just, will ground you and bring you back into the present.
And that's something, people, that takes you about 30 seconds to a minute top. So there's absolutely no excuse.
Exactly.
At all. And we can do it whenever and wherever we are. Even at the grocery store. Too much people. Okay, let's feel feet. Breathe, feeling better. Okay, I love it.
Yeah,
it's simple.
Any place, anytime.
Yeah, it's powerful, and it's something that will bring us out of our minds and into our bodies, where our innate presence and wisdom is.
Yeah,
okay,
connecting to that inner essence again, so that then you can have an even more purposeful and joyful life.
That's what we all want. So, Trish, is there any way that people can contact you that's most easy for you to be reached?
They can either message me on Facebook, or by email, hello@trishcoole.com, or on my website. But hello@trishcoole.com and Facebook probably be the best.
Okay, perfect. So thank you very much first for doing this, for sharing your 17 years and your entire life, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Life experience.
Your life experience. And Empower You Tribe, if you enjoy this, show this interview some love, hit the like buttons, comment. If you have any questions, please do put them on the comments too. And if you're watching this anywhere other than on our Empower You Facebook group, then consider this your invitation. It's a double invitation now, and come join us. It's a beautiful group with power that with people that want to create their life from an empowered place. This is interesting. You're distracting me, Trish. So, again, come join us. We share all types of tricks, tips, techniques, mindsets shifts
Yeah.
and energy healings in that group, and it's an open group, so it's free for you to join. It's beautiful people, beautiful content, and you'll love it there. So thank you again, Trish, for
Thank
doing
you.
and thank you everyone for watching. Bye.